Are you an introvert struggling to navigate in an extroverted world? Do you feel like you don't fit in or that your introverted tendencies are somehow wrong or flawed? Well, you're not alone. In this video, we're going to dispel the myths and misconceptions about introverts and give you the tools and strategies you need to thrive as an introvert in an extroverted world. You'll learn how to embrace your introverted strengths, set boundaries, practice effective communication, and find supportive friends and colleagues. So if you're ready to take control of your introvert journey and learn how to thrive in any situation, just keep on watching. Before we get into the tips and tricks, let's get clear on what introverts and extroverts are. Introverts. Introverts are typically quiet and reserved people who prefer peaceful environments and solitude. It all has to do with how they gain energy, and for introverts, they recharge through some quality alone time after taking part in draining social interactions. Introverts are thoughtful and introspective people. They tend to think about everything under the sun. They don't just think about themselves, they also generally care about what's going on around them. The feelings of other people, the environment, and anything else they might observe. Since most of their energy isn't spent talking or putting themselves out there, introverts are naturally more observant of their surroundings. Extroverts. Extroverts are typically talkative, outgoing, and overtly expressive people who prefer social interactions where they can mingle and connect with others. They thrive in social situations where they can introduce themselves to other people and make new friends. Extroverts aren't afraid to put themselves out there. In fact, they enjoy being the center of attention and the life of the party. It's not in an extrovert's best interest to stay in on a Friday night when they could be out partying with their friends. That's where they get their energy from, and because of their personality, other people are naturally drawn to them. Why you need to understand and embrace your own personality type. Why do people feel the need to group themselves into introverts and extroverts? Is it really necessary to know which side of the spectrum you're on when we're all human anyways? Well, before you can embrace who you truly are, you must first understand the depths of your personality. Whether you are an introvert or an extrovert, it's important for you to understand how similar and different you are from other people, so you can appreciate yourself in the best way and learn how you can relate to others and the world. As for introverts, a commonly shared feeling is embarrassment about being who they are. In an extroverted world, it may be difficult to find your own place, and it doesn't help that there are way too many misconceptions about introverts going around. Here are the top 3 misconceptions about introverts. Myth: introverts are shy or socially anxious. Just because someone is an introvert doesn't automatically mean that they're the shy type or that they're socially anxious. Though this may be true for some, it doesn't apply to all, so it wouldn't be fair to generalize them in that way. The difference between being introverted and shy is that an introvert simply enjoys time alone, and spending too much time with others can drain their energy. Whereas a shy person doesn't necessarily want to spend their time all alone, but they're too afraid to make the first move in most social interactions. It's also important to note that introversion is a personality type, while shyness is simply an emotion. Myth: introverts don't like people. This is a very dangerous myth that may cause other people to extremely misjudge introverts. Introverts don't hate you. They just generally prefer spending time alone. And it's not just that. The thing is, unlike extroverts who gain emotional energy from social interactions, introverts expend emotional energy towards social interactions, which can make the whole ordeal challenging and draining. They don't dislike people, they just get tired from being around people for prolonged periods of time. But it's not about you, so don't take it personally. It's all a matter of how introverts like to spend their energy. Myth: introverts can't be leaders. Since we know introverts as typically quiet and reserved people, another common misconception is that introverts cannot be effective leaders. In group settings, introverts may not be the type of people to express their opinions unless asked, or they may not be as enthusiastic to pitch in their ideas. But does this mean that an introvert can't be a leader? No, in fact, anyone can develop the right skills to become a great leader if they choose to, and introverts aren't an exception. Introverts actually have great qualities that they can use to their advantage for effective leadership. For one, introverts are great listeners, which can make for a great collaborative working environment where all members can feel seen and heard. Introverts, being thoughtful as they are, also tend to think deeply about the goals, obstacles, and challenges that may be faced by them and their team. Because they've already thought of every possibility, introverts are naturally great planners and are ready to face whatever comes their way. Lastly, introverts don't rush to take the spotlight all for themselves. Instead, they let everyone else shine. They don't want special recognition. They empower their team members and encourage them to showcase their skills. Instead of resentment, this kind of trait fosters harmony and engagement within the whole team. If you've watched this far, go ahead and click that like button for us to let us know that you're enjoying the video. Great, now let's move on to the tips for introverts in an extroverted world. Embrace your introvert strengths. You may feel embarrassed about certain traits that come with being an introvert, but if you start viewing them in a more positive way, you can actually learn to love your introversion. A study shows that successful people are focusing more on their personal strength rather than trying to fix their weaknesses. Once you embrace your introvert strengths, you can maximize them and use them to your advantage. Being quiet isn't a bad thing. Less talk means more listening, and you'll be able to pick up on other cues if you're more observant and attentive rather than keen on talking about yourself. Set boundaries and make time for solitude. Be mindful of your social battery. If you're feeling like you need to recharge, then take some time away from social interactions so you can bounce back more revitalized and ready to take the world on again. You might have been too embarrassed before to turn down invitations from other people, especially your friends and family. But those who love you should also understand who you are as a person and what you need to be able to present your best self to them. For more tips on this, check out our video, How to Say No Without Feeling Guilty. Practice effective communication and assertiveness. Introverts may be typically unassuming and quiet, but it doesn't mean that others can just step on you like a doormat and tell you what to do. You may be quiet, but you're not weak. One thing that sometimes hinders people from communicating effectively and asserting themselves to others is their lack of confidence. If you feel like this is an area where you need more help, you can also check out our video on becoming more confident and overcoming insecurities. Seek out supportive and understanding friends and colleagues. Like what we said about setting boundaries, those who truly love you as a person will understand what comes with your introversion. If you notice that people around you are misjudging you and taking you the wrong way, then maybe it's time to reevaluate your friend list. Good friends and colleagues will be happy to get to know you for who you are and everything else that makes you, you. Action items: what to focus on. To sum up our video, introverts can thrive in an extroverted world by understanding and embracing their own personality type. Remember that it's okay to be an introvert, to need alone time and introspection, and that being an introvert is nothing to be embarrassed about. It's important to find ways to navigate and succeed in an extroverted world while still being true to yourself. You don't always need to change who you are to fit in with the extroverts. There are people out there who will support and embrace you in all your entirety. Before we end this video, we'd like to recommend this great book by Michaela Chung called The Introvert's Handbook: How to Thrive in an Extrovert World. Go check it out if you want to read more on this topic. You can find the link under this video. We hope you learned something today. Tell us about your own experiences down below, or suggest the topic that you'd like us to talk about in our next video. If you liked this video, maybe you are also interested in our video, Becoming More Confident and Overcoming Insecurities. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.